get your sort of your perspective. I was having this sort of very same conversation with somebody the other day, and they were talking to me about goals, right? So how many of you have goals? Put a number one in the chat if you have goals, be it personal or professional. Put a number one in the chat. All right, and I see we have some new people looking. Phenomenal morning to you. So that person and I, we were talking about goals, and I was telling them, everybody has goals. 90% of the population. Who knows? Maybe it may be less than that, right, Shan? Most people don't have goals.
No,
But
most people don't. That's the problem.
most people don't have goals. But check this out. Even the people that do have goals, they seldom hit those goals. And something that I've learned, and I must have heard this a very long time ago, is we don't often hit our goals. We don't always hit our goals. Write this down, guys. But we always get our standards.
Wow, that's rough.
Write that down.
That's
We
rough.
don't always get our goals, but we
That's rough.
always get our standards.
Oh, that's ugly, Junior. You being disrespectful in
Oh
the
no, I'm not. I'm being real.
world.
Guys, put some flames in the chat.
You're being
No, I'm
disrespectful.
not. No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Just being real.
Hold
That's all.
on, hold on. So what you're saying is, if people wake up and they look around and they don't like what they're living in, they don't like their situation, it's because of them. That's their standards.
Well, if I could plot that on a graph, I would pretty much say so, Shan. Yeah. You have to
Wow.
raise your standards. Like for example, if you have a let's say you have a standard, like let's say you're a very clean person, that's your standard. If you think about it, and I've heard you say this story before, a lot of people when they come into an establishment for a new job, let's say the person who was there before them, they had the place in some kind of mess. Most people, they just move into the office, they say, okay, well, this is how I found the office.
Mm.
Who am I? Who am I to change it and to clean it up and to decorate it and do all of that? But when you have a standard and your standard says that I don't work in any place that looks less than who I am, what you're gonna do when you move in, you're going to renovate that place. You're going to change the walls, change the desk, change the chair, put some pictures on the wall, make the place look nice because that's your standard. You understand? Your standard is you cannot work in an environment that is not conducive to success.
Mm.
And so that's all I'm saying.
No,
It's
no.
phenomenal to have goals,
I
but at
think
the same
you're right.
time, you have to raise your standards.
I think you're right. I think you're 100% right. And I want to highlight what Jackie just said. Please put what Jackie said in it. Put it up, Mr. B. Please raise that up. I love what Jackie says because she says that's the case sometimes, not always. We are open to opposing viewpoints here, right? This is dialogue. It's not a monologue and it's not a keynote. This is not a monologue or a keynote. So please put opposing viewpoints. If you feel something different, please put it up. So, and we will highlight it. I love what Jackie says. I really do. And I agree 1000%. In the case of minors, in the case of children, and we all know what's happened recently with the children, and we all know the situation with children in this country and abroad. Okay. We're no stranger to the news. We're no strangers to what happens. So our love goes out to everyone who lost someone and those who risk someone every single day. Okay. Let me say that first. Then I'm going to say this. As a child, you're born into a situation that you're not responsible for. However, upon around the age of 13, sometimes 7, 8, 9, you know the difference between right and wrong. You know the difference, but you feel it. It's a voice. At least for me, it was. And I'll be honest, because I kept going against the voice, right? I'm a product of going against the voice. However, at some point, I had to say, you know what? I don't like my life. I didn't like the situations. When I looked around, I said, this is bad. Does it have to be this bad? Like, does it have to be this rough? Is it really like, is it an accepted situation that I was born into that I'm accepting as a standard or a regular occurrence, like normalcy? Am I normalizing trauma? Am I normalizing generational gaps? Am I normalizing poverty and substandard situations and actions to change that standard? Or is there another opportunity somewhere? Is there another situation? Is there another possibility in an untapped source? To what Jackie was talking about, in an untapped source. For me, that untapped source was formal education. For some people, it's personal and professional development. And if you know my story, you know I fell in love. And I was like, I'm kind of okay here. Right? I said, I'm kind of okay here. But do I want to subject my loved ones to my situation? And is this, you have to ask yourself this, write this part down. Is my situation of my own choosing? Or is it a situation that I was born into? Is it a situation that I was born into or sworn into? Because I was born into a situation, but at a certain point in my life, I realized I wasn't sworn into that situation. And I swore myself, I promised myself, I promised my children, I promised my life, I promised my wife, I promised myself a different situation.